Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiriye. Nashtaprayeshu Vadreshu Nityam Bhaktasevaya. Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nashtike. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 22, Bali Maharaj surrenders his life. So today we are starting this new chapter, text 1 onwards. Shri Shukuvacha, Evam Viprakrito Rajan, Balir Bhagavata Suraha. Oh, something happened, it kicked me out.
Hare Krishna Guru.
It's okay. Text 1. Shri Shukuvacha, Evam Viprakrito Rajan, Balir Bhagavata Sura, Vidyamana api bhinnatma, Pratyahaha Viklama Vam Vachaha. Shukdev Goswami said, O king, although the Supreme Personality of Godhead was superficially seen to have acted mischievously towards Bali Maharaj was fixed in his determination. Considering himself not to have fulfilled his promise, he spoke as follows. Shri Baliruvacha, Yadyuttam Shlok Bhavan Mameritam Vacho Vyalikam Sarvar Manyate Karomiritam Tanna Bhavet Pralambanam Padam Tritiyam Kuru Shirshni Menijam. Bali Maharaj said, O best personality of Godhead, most worshipable for all the demigods, if you think that my promise has become false, I shall certainly rectify matters to make it truthful. I cannot allow my promise to be false. Please, therefore, place your third lotus footstep on my head. So this was Bali Maharaj. He said, I cannot be termed as a liar. He said, my promise cannot be false. So you have conquered everything. You just took away everything, but it didn't take away me. So put your third lotus footstep on my head. Bali Maharaj could understand the pretense of Lord Vamandev, who had taken the side of the demigods and come before him as a beggar. Although the Lord's purpose was to cheat him, Bali Maharaj took pleasure in understanding how the Lord will cheat his devotee to glorify the devotee's position. It is said that God is good, and this is a fact. Whether he cheats or rewards, he is always good. Bali Maharaj therefore addressed him as Uttam Shloka, your lordship. He said, you're always praised with the best of selected verses. On behalf of the demigods, you disguised yourself to cheat me, saying that you wanted only 3 bases of land. But later, you expanded your body to such an extent that with 2 steps, you covered the entire universe. Because you were working on behalf of your devotees, you do not regard this as a cheating. Never mind, I cannot be considered a devotee. Nonetheless, because although you are the husband of the goddess of fortune, you have come to me to beg. I must satisfy you to the best of my ability. So please do not think that I wanted to cheat you. I must fulfill my promise. I still have my body. When I place my body for your satisfaction, please put your third step on my head. Since the Lord had covered the entire universe with 2 steps, one might ask how Bali Maharaj's head could be sufficient for his third step. Bali Maharaj, however, thought that the possessor of wealth must be greater than the possession. Therefore, although the Lord had taken all his possessions, the head of Bali Maharaj, the possessor, would provide adequate space for the Lord's third step. See, this is just beautiful relationship, a beautiful pastime between the Lord and his devotee. Bali Maharaj is a devotee, definitely a devotee. So Vamandev came He is the husband of goddess of fortune. Still, he came to beg from Bali Maharaj. And not just ordinary begging, cheating him. So Bali Maharaj must be thinking, what is this pastime going on? What is this beautiful, wonderful reciprocation of love going on here? So he said, okay, so you have covered everything with your 2 steps. Put your 3rd step on my head. Prabhupada says, okay, Bali Maharaj have thought that the possessor of wealth must be greater than the possession. But also at the same time, when Bali Maharaj said, put the 3rd step on my head, means he is surrendering fully and he wants the mercy of the Lord. How many people get to have Lord's footstep on their heads? In fact, when Krishna was dancing on the heads of Kalia, and Kalia surrendered, first the poison came out, and the blood came out from his heads or hoods, and then he surrendered. And then the Nagpatnis came, wives of Kalia, and then they prayed to the Lord. And they said, we don't know what kind of pious activity Kalia must have done. Because for you to put your lotus feet on the heads of anybody is very rare. And here, you didn't just put your lotus foot on his head, you danced on his head. Then we can just imagine how fortunate he is. So similarly here, Bali Maharaj wants the lotus feet of the Lord on his head. And there couldn't be anything greater than that. Bibhemi naham niryat padachyuto na pasha bandhad vyasanat duratyaya navartha krichrat bhavato vinigraha asadhu vadad bhrisham udvijayatha. I do not fear being deprived of all my possessions, living in hellish life, being arrested for poverty by the ropes of Varuna, or being punished by you as much as I fear defamation. Although Bali Maharaj fully surrendered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he could not tolerate being defamed for cheating a Brahman brahmachari. Being quite alert in regard to his reputation, he thought deeply about how to prevent being defamed. The Lord therefore gave him the good counsel to prevent defamation by offering his head. A Vaishnav does not fear any punishment. Narayan's para sarve na kutashan bibhyati. So all he was worried about his defamation, actually not his defamation, but the defamation of Prahlad Maharaj, the greatest devotee as his forefather or predecessor. And also as a Kshatriya, as a king, he didn't want to go down in the history that he did not give proper charity. Punsam shlagya tamam manne dandam arhatam arpitam yamna mata pita brata suhridascha dishanti. Although a father, mother, brother, or friend may sometimes punish one as a well-wisher, they never punish their subordinates like this. But because you are the most worshipable Lord, I regard the punishment you have given me as most exalted. Punishment meted out by the Supreme Personality of Godhead is accepted by the devotee as the greatest mercy. Tattena kampam susamikshmano. One who seeks your compassion and thus tolerates all kinds of adverse conditions due to karma of his past deeds, who engages always in your devotional service with his mind, words, and body, and who always offer obeisances to you is certainly a bona fide candidate for liberation. A devotee knows that so-called punishment by the Supreme Personality of Godhead is only his favor to correct his devotee and bring him to the right path. Therefore, the punishment awarded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot be compared to even the greatest benefit awarded by one's material father, mother, brother, or friend. So this is That's why Supreme Lord, whatever he does, it's full of mercy. He's nothing but full of mercy. So-called punishment is only his favor to correct his devotee. So it's not even punishment, it's his mercy. And everything is sweet, everything related to him is sweet. Just we have to have our consciousness properly placed to understand this, to see this properly. That's all. Bali Maharaj is at that position where he could see everything is sweet, everything is mercy of the Lord. Tvam nunam asuranam na paroksha parmo guruhu yo no anekam madandhanam vibhransham chakshuradishat. Since your lordship is indirectly the greatest well-wisher of us demons, you act for our best welfare by posing as if our enemy. Because demons like us always aspire for a position of false prestige. By chastising us, you give us the eyes by which to see the right path. Bali Maharaj considered the Supreme Personality of Godhead a better friend to the demons than to the demigods. In the material world, the more one gets material possessions, the more he becomes blind to spiritual life. The demigods are devotees of the Lord for the sake of material possessions. But although the demons apparently do not have the Supreme Personality of Godhead, on their side, he always acts as a well-wisher by depriving them of their positions of false prestige. By false prestige, one is misguided. The Supreme Lord takes away the position of false prestige as a special favor. So he doesn't do that to the demigods because they're already devotees, but they have some material duties to fulfill. But the demons, they get their possessions taken away. So Bali Maharaj is saying, this is your real mercy on us. Yasmin Varanu Bandhena Vyudena Vibhude Taraha Bhavole Vire Siddhim Yamu hai Kanti Yogina Tenaham Nigrihito Asmi Bhavata Bhuri Karmana Bandhasya Varuna Pasher Nati Vride Nacha Vyathe. Many demons who were continuously inimical toward you finally achieved the perfection of great mystic yogis. Your lordship can perform one work to serve many purposes, and consequently, although you have punished me in many ways, I do not feel ashamed of having been arrested by the ropes of Varuna, nor do I feel aggrieved. Bali Maharaj appreciated the Lord's mercy not only upon him but upon many other demons, because this mercy is liberally distributed. The Supreme Lord is called all merciful. Bali Maharaj was indeed a fully surrendered devotee, but even some demons who were not at all devotees but merely enemies of the Lord attained the same exalted position achieved by many mystic yogis. Thus Bali Maharaj could understand that the Lord had some hidden purpose in punishing him. Consequently, he was neither unhappy nor ashamed because of the awkward position in which he had been put by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But to come to that understanding, one's consciousness has to be rightly placed. And also at the same time, Shukdev Goswami, through this story, is trying to convince Parikshit Maharaj that because we are coming towards the end of Srimad Bhagavatam actually, so many days have passed by for Bhagavatam to go on. And Parikshit Maharaj by now he should be getting ready because he's going to leave his body very soon. So by this story, Shukdev Goswami is pretty much telling Parikshit Maharaj that whatever is happening, it's all by the mercy of the Lord. So you just take it as a mercy, full mercy upon you, and you leave your body peacefully. Pitamaho me bhavadiya sammataha Prahad Avishkrita Sadhuvadaha Bhavad Vipakshena Vichitra Vaishasam Samprapti Tastvam Paramaha Swapitra. My grandfather Prahlad Maharaj is famous, being recognized by all your devotees. Although harassed in many ways by his father, Hiranyakashipu, he still remained faithful, taking shelter at your lotus feet. A pure devotee like Prahlad Maharaj, although harassed circumstantially in many ways, never gives up the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead to take shelter of anyone else. A pure devotee never complains against the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. A vivid example is Prahlad Maharaj. Examining the life of Prahlad Maharaj, we can see how severely he was harassed by his own father, Hiranyakashipu. Yet, he did not divert his attention from the Lord, even to the smallest extent. Bali Maharaj, following in the footsteps of his grandfather, Prahlad Maharaj, remained fixed in his devotion to the Lord, despite the Lord having punished him. So Prahlad Maharaj, look at him, how much he was harassed, he was put into so many difficult situations by his own father, but he never gave up on the chanting of the holy names or remembering the Lord. Never gave up on that. So basically, Bali Maharaj is also following in the footsteps. So he's also humiliated, taken away everything that he had, and now he's being bound by the ropes of Varuna as an ordinary prisoner. But he's not deviating from his path. Kimatmananena jahati yontataha kim riktahare swajanakya dasyubhi kim jayaya samsriti hetu bhuteya marsya yigeha kimha yushav vyayaha. What's the use of this material body, which automatically leaves its owner at the end of life? And what's the use of all one's family members who are actually plunderers, taking away money that is useful for the service of the Lord in spiritual opulence? What is the use of a wife? She's only the source of increasing material conditions. And what's the use of family, home, country, and community? Attachment for them merely wastes the valuable energy of one's lifetime. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, advises, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mam Ekam Sharanam Praja. Give up all other varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. The common man does not appreciate such a statement by the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he thinks that during his lifetime, his family, society, country, body, and relatives are everything. Why should one give up any one of them and take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? But from the behavior of great personalities like Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj, we understand that surrendering to the Lord is a right action for an intelligent person. Prahlad Maharaj took shelter of Vishnu against the will of his father. Similarly, Bali Maharaj took shelter of Vamandev against the will of his spiritual master, Shukracharya, and all the leading demons. People may be surprised that devotees like Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj could seek shelter of the side of the enemy, giving up the natural affinity for family, hearth, and home. In this connection, Bali Maharaj explains that the body, which is the center of all material activities, is also a foreign element. Even though we want to keep the body fit and helpful to our activities, the body cannot continue eternally. Although I am the soul which is eternal, after using the body for some time, I have to accept another body according to the laws of nature, unless I render some service with the body for advancement in devotional service. One should not use the body for any other purpose. One must know that if he uses the body for any other purpose, he's simply wasting time. For as soon as the time is ripe, the soul will automatically leave the body. So the eternal relationship is of the soul with Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Krishnera Nityadas. And the body is a vehicle, it's an instrument to be used in that purpose of understanding our relationship with Him and to work on that relationship to serve the Lord. So that is a real position or real affinity. But what we have made this body, I am this body, and anything connected, attached, or anything related to this body is mine. And my only purpose of life is to serve those relationships. That is illusion. That is real illusion. And the whole world is working like that. But the body has been given to us by the Lord to be used in His service. That's all. Simple as that. In the process, whatever relationships or other conditions we have to take care of them, no doubt. But ultimately, we have to serve the Lord. Prabhupada further says, we are very interested in society, friendship, and love, but what are they? Those in the garb of friends and relatives merely plunder the hard-earned money of the bewildered soul. Everyone is affectionate towards his wife and is attached to her. But what is this wife? The wife is called Stri, which means one who expands the material condition. If a person lives without a wife, his material conditions are less extensive. As soon as one marries and is connected with wife, his material necessities increase. And we all know that. The attraction between male and female is a basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. Human life is meant for self-realization, not for increasing unwanted things. Actually, a wife increases unwanted things. One's lifetime, one's home, and everything one has, if not properly used in the service of the Lord, are all sources of material conditions of perpetual suffering under the threefold mysteries, Adhyatmic, Adhibhautik, and Adhidaivic. Unfortunately, there is no institution in human society for education on this subject. People are kept in darkness about the goal of life, and that there is a continuous struggle for existence. We speak of the survival of the fittest, but no one survives, for no one is free under material conditions. And that is a real knowledge, real understanding. Nobody is saying that one should not get married. If one wants to, he should. But one should not deviate from the real goal of life. And it's true for both men and women. But when we are under this illusion of this body, we get deviated. And so much deviated that we have no time, no interest, no energy to serve the Lord. It's very difficult. Manushanam Sahasreshu Kashyadhyati Siddhai. Out of hundreds and thousands of men, one thinks of self-realization. And out of hundreds and thousands of them, hardly one attains perfection. And rest, everybody is just in a rat race, that's all. And here, Bali Maharaj is speaking about Barley relationships and what is the use of wife and family members, and we'll read later that his own wife comes out, Vindhyavali, and she also chastises Bali Maharaj. And one thing more happens that is not mentioned in Bhagavatam, it's mentioned in other scriptures. He had a daughter, Bali Maharaj had a daughter named Ratnamala. So Ratnamala, little girl, when she saw Vamandev coming to the arena, and Vamandev, he is a supreme personality of God, even though he came as a little boy, little dwarf, Brahman. He was very effulgent, very attractive, very sweet little boy. So Ratnamala, looking at him, had a feeling of motherly love in her heart. And she thought, oh, if I had a son like this, I would feed him milk of my own breast to my heart's content. He's so beautiful, so charming, so attractive. And later, when Vamandev took everything away from his father and captured him, tied him up with the ropes of Varuna. Now Ratmala was upset, very angry at Vamandev, and she thought, if I had a son like this, I would make him drink poison. I'll smear my breast with poison, and instead of feeding him milk, I'll feed him poison and kill him. Vamandev, being the Supreme Lord, he is also the super soul in the heart of everybody, and he had to grant her those wishes. So she was the one who became Putana in Krishna Leela. So she came with the intention of motherly love, but at the same time she wanted to kill Krishna. So Krishna fulfilled both the desires of Ratnamala. First, she wanted to kill him with the poison on her breast. So Krishna let her do that. And then Krishna also accepted her motherly love, drank milk, and sent her to Golok Dham to be an assistant of Yashoda Maya. So even in our heart, if we have some desire towards Krishna, it might get fulfilled, whether it is negative or positive desire. Of course, for Krishna, he is absolute. Everything is, for him, is positive. But if we have something negativity, then if he fulfills, then we have to suffer. That's all. So anyway, we'll stop here. See anybody has any questions about this. Okay, so you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Ram.